Today we're going to talk about the mid-unit assessment study guide. So question 1, a meteorologist predicted an 80% chance of rainfall today. And he said it is unlikely to rain. Well, anything over 50% is likely. So this is false. It is likely to rain. The next one says the likelihood of rolling a 4 on a fair number cube is unlikely, and that would be true because you have one number 4 on a number cube out of 6 possibilities. That's less than half, so that would be unlikely, which is true. All right, the chart below shows the gumball colors in a gumball machine. The probability of getting each color gumball out of the machine is below. Which color gumball is most likely to come out of the machine? So I'm going to convert all of these to 20ths so that I have common denominator. So I know that if I multiply by 4 in the numerator and the denominator, I'm going to get 20ths because 5 times 4 is 20, so that's 8 over 20. And then I'm going to multiply that by 5. So I get 5 20ths. I'm going to multiply by 4. And I'm going to end up with 4 20ths. So I know that I can now compare all the numerators. So the color I'm most likely going to get is yellow. The next one says, which color will I be least likely to select? So again, I'm going to convert to common denominators. So I've got fifths and I've got tenths, so I'm going to convert to tenths. So I'm going to multiply by 2, and I get 2 tenths. I'm going to multiply by 2, I get 4 tenths, and then I'm just going to compare my numerators. And they want to know which one I'm least likely going to get. So green would be my answer. For number 5, it says Mr. Jones is selling apples at a farmer's market. In the container, he has 4 different types of apples. The probability of randomly selecting a Golden Delicious is 1 out of 12. The probability of a Fuji apple is 1/6. So I'm going to convert that to 12ths just to make it easier. So that would be 2 12ths because I'm going to multiply by 2 in the numerator and the denominator. And then Macintosh is 3 12ths. And the rest of the apples in the container are Gala apples. What is the likelihood of a customer selecting a Gala apple? Okay, well, I'm going to add my numerators because I've got the same denominator across the bottom, so I can do that. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. That's 6 12ths. So I'm going to subtract that from the whole because I have one container, so I'm going to do 12 over 12 minus 6 12ths, and I'm going to get 6 12ths. So the probability is going to be 1/2 or 50% or whatever of getting a Gala apple. So half of the container is full of Gala apples. The next one says that Paul has a spinner with 4 colors. He spins the spinner 60 times. And this is what it stops on. He wants to spin it an additional 450 times. How many times should he expect it to stop on yellow? So we're talking about yellow here. So I've got yellow and I've got my total. So that was 19 and 60. And then I've got 1 and I've got 450. So I'm going to divide by 60. So I'm doing 19 divided by 60. I get 31.6 repeating. Okay, and then I'm going to multiply by 450. And I get 142.5. So I should expect to get yellow 142.5 or 143 more times. All right, there are 10 orange, 5 red, 8 blue, 2 green marbles in the bag. How many times out of 150 should someone expect to pull a marble? That is not blue. Okay, that is not blue. So, let me see if I did that right on my answer key. I did not. So I'm going to have to fix that one. Okay, so I know that when I add these up, so I've got 10, 5, 8, and 2, I'm going to get 25. And I want one that is not blue, so that means not blue. So that's total. So that would be 25 minus 8, which would be what, 17? Yeah, 17. Okay, and 25, and I want to get 150. So I'm going to divide by 25. So I've got 17 divided by 25, and then I'm going to multiply by 150. I get 102. So I should get that 102 times. All right, a spinner has 5 sections. The table below shows the result of 60 spins. Based on the table, what is the probability the spinner lands on T or W on the next spin? So T or W. So that would be 19 plus 5 would be, what, 24? And so I have 24 over 60, which would be, I'm going to divide by 12, because that would be my common factor. And I get 2/5. So I could get 2/5, or I could get, which is also equal to 4/10, or equal to 40%. Because remember, I can write it as a fraction, a decimal, or a percent. So probability can be written all 3 ways. So I have to be able to get it all 3 ways. And I can get 4/10 by doing 2 divided by 5 in my calculator, or doing long division. 2 divided by 5. Adding that decimal, 5 goes into 20 4 times. 4 times 5 is 20. Subtract and I get 0, so that'd be 4/10. All right, a coin is tossed 50 times. It lands on heads 35 times based on this outcome. Not based on what probability should be theoretically, but based on this outcome, based on the experimental probability. How many times should we expect it to land on heads if it's tossed 200 times? So we have total, and we have heads. So that's 35 out of 50. And we've got 1, and we've got 200. So we're going to divide by 50. We get 0.7, and we're going to times by 200. And we get 140. So it should land 140 times on heads. All right, Kelly is planning the settings for a table for a charity dinner. There are 4 kinds of tablecloths, and you can see that here, tablecloth 1, 2, 3, and 4. And she lists off the different possibilities. And then there are 2 different placemats, so she lists those off too. If guests set randomly, what is the probability that they will sit at a table with the first and fourth kind of tablecloth and the second kind of placemat? So that would be this one and this one. So that's 2 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 2 out of 8, or 1/4, because I can divide by 2 in my numerator and denominator. Or I could have done, there were 4 options, so that's 2/4 times 1 out of 2. And again, I get 2/8 divided by 2 to reduce my fraction, and I get 1/4. All right, Cora has 5 songs on her new MP3 player. 3 are jazz songs and 2 are pop songs. She sets the player so that it randomly plays. The list shows all the possible outcomes of playing 2 songs. What's the probability that she will hear 2 jazz songs in a row? So that would be that option, and that option. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 5 would be 25. 9 out of 25. Or I could have done, there are 3 jazz songs out of 5. And then in the second set, there are 3 jazz songs out of 5. So 3 times 3 is 9. 5 times 5 is 25. Katie dropped 6 nickels on the floor. What's the probability that it'll land heads up? So 1 out of 2 for the first nickel, 1 out of 2 for the second nickel, 1 out of 2 for the third, 1 out of 2 for the fourth, 1 out of 2 for the fifth, and 1 out of 2 for the sixth, that it's going to land heads up. So 1 times 1 times 1, all those ones is going to equal 1 on the top. And then 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32, times 2 is 64. So 1 in 64 is the probability that all those nickels are going to land heads up. 3 fair number cubes labeled 1 through 6 are rolled, and the results are recorded. How many outcomes are in the sample space? So outcomes are the number of possibilities. So there are 6 possibilities on the first dice, 6 possibilities on the second die, 6 possibilities on the third die. So 6 times 6 times 6 is 216 possible outcomes. That's not a probability, so it is not written as a fraction, decimal, or percent. Chris went to his favorite restaurant for breakfast. They offer either pancakes, French toast, or waffles. They also offer syrup, strawberries, or chocolate chips. And then coffee, orange juice, hot chocolate, or milk. You pick one from each choice. How many unique combinations? So they want to know combinations. So again, I'm taking 3 choices from the first one, 3 choices from the second one, and 4 choices from the third one. So that gives me 36 combinations. Now I could draw out a tree diagram or a ordered list, or I could do a table if I wanted to list out all these options. But I know there's a faster way to do it, which is to multiply all 3 of the options together. Mike has a fair spinner and a fair coin. He spins the spinner once, so there are 4 outcomes there, and then he flips the coin twice. How many unique possible outcomes are there? Remember, we're talking outcomes here. So 4 on the spinner and 2 on the first coin, 2 on the second coin. So 16 outcomes. What is the probability that the first spinner lands on yellow or green? So that's 2 out of 4. And the second spinner lands on 4. So that's 1 out of 6. So that would be 2 out of 24, which is going to be 1/12. Because I would divide by 2 in the numerator and 2 in the denominator. Last one, Sarah has 4 choices to get to school. Walk, ride a bike, skateboard, or ride the bus. She has the same choices to get home. If Sarah randomly chooses how she's getting to school and home, what is the probability she will ride her skateboard to school and then ride the bus home? Now, this is probability, so it has to be written as a fraction, decimal, or percent. So that's 1 out of 4 choices to get to school and 1 out of 4 choices to get home. So that's 1 out of 16. All right. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.